In this video, we are going to be building ThinkorSwim automated trading strategies not using any indicators. Price action only. Each and every candlestick on a chart, no matter what time frame you're looking at, provides us with 4 points of concrete data: open, close, high, and low. And we can call those 4 points into a thinkscript code to build a strategy utilizing that data. Take a look at this thinkscript example code here I have whipped up. This strategy is going to enter if the RSI is greater than 80. Don't worry about that. That's just so we have a reason for there to be a trade. And we're going to jump down and focus on this sell condition. If the current bar's closing value is less than the low value from 1 bar ago. First off, that is what brackets represent. Whenever you have a price call like this, if you put bracket, integer, close bracket, whatever that number is however many bars back ThinkorSwim will pull that value from. So of course, low brackets 1 is pulling the value of the low from 1 bar ago. So in this case, we are going to sell if the current bar close is less than the low from 1 bar ago. You got an example trade on the screen here behind my head. Obviously, the RSI gets over 80. We get in the trade. Great. The first scenario in which the current bar closes below the low of the previous bar happens here. The trade gets stopped out. Alrighty, let's up the complexity just a little bit now. Look at this new thinkscript example I've got on the screen for you. Now, we're buying if the RSI is less than 40. Once again, just some reason to get into the trade. Now, focusing on the sell condition. Now, we're going to call in high. Remember, we used close and low in the last one, but you have 4 data points, right? Open, close, low, and high. Now we're going to be looking at the high of if the high of the current bar, is greater than the highest open in the last 10 bars. So now we're adding a new function. There is a function for highest and a function for lowest that accepts 2 parameters. The first, what value do you want the highest or lowest of? Second parameter being of the last how many bars. So we're looking for the highest open of the last 10 bars, and we're going to be comparing our high against the previous value of that. Because if you compare it against the current value, it will never exit, basically. The high will never be higher than the current highest high, if that makes any sense. But that is how we get that in there. That's the highest function. And I also have a plot for the highest open in the last 10, just so you can have a visual on the chart. If we go to the chart, you have a trade example here behind me. RSI gets below 40, trade ends up getting in, ends up getting out here when the highest open of the last 10 bars ends up sort of aligning to being one of these 2 bars, because if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bars back, it actually would have been this one, sorry. These bars begin being the highest opens, right? Back here, we were still looking at these bars, right? Back here, if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it was going off this value, right? This was the highest open in the last 10 bars. Does that make sense? Let's do a lowest example and see if we can help explain a little bit. Up the complexity one more time. Let's call this level 3 now. We are now buying if the current bar high is greater than the highest high of the last 20 bars, and we're selling if the current bar close is less than the lowest low of the last 10 bars. And once again, I have both of those values plotted so we can have a visual example. If we go to our charts now, you will see when NVIDIA on the daily here breaks up above the highest point of the last 10 bars. If you look at these bars here in being about the last 10, this bar, of course, let's zoom in a little bit. This bar, of course, breaks above that high level. The strategy ends up getting in. Goes. Funnily enough, with this trade, this pullback here ends up not getting stopped out because this low here is still within the last 10 bars, right? You can see this low here is what the value is aligning off of on the plot. And this bar, even though the pullback is a little bit strong, ends up not closing below that, so we don't get stopped out. And we end up not getting stopped out until up here when looking back at roughly the last 10 bars, the value of NVIDIA does in fact break down below that lowest value of the last 10 bars, ends up getting stopped out of the trade. Oh, funnily enough, it actually jumps up just before. So just before we end up in that trade, it's looking at this being the lowest low. So it must be these 10 bars here. If I can make this a little bit more visual, must be these 10 bars here, because just before we get out of the trade, you can see that lowest low jump up to this value rather than this value. That's why when this breaks down, we get stopped out. So does that make sense? Now you have really everything you need. I mean, of course you can make this like 100 times more complicated, but you have the basics of what you need to build a price action trading strategy in ThinkorSwim now. Remember, open, close, high, low, and highest and lowest functions. And remember to utilize the looking at values of at least one bar back, if not multiple bars back, depending on, once again, how you're building it, to look at price action comparison. If you're interested in ThinkorSwim strategies like this, I have over 25 strategies on my website and over 40 other codes, be it custom scanners, strategies, etc., all available on my website, daytradingstrategies.net. And I also have a little contact us tab where members get access to my personal email, and I will help build you any sort of thinkscript that you want. So if you're interested in this price action stuff, but you want something a little bit more complex than what we went over today, consider signing up. Reach out to me. I will do what I can to help build you a thinkscript. And for those of you guys that make it to the end of the videos, I always like to give you guys a little bit of an extra push. You all are the ones supporting me. I want to help give you all everything I can to help push you towards this systematic trading lifestyle as well. So if you use discount code END, you're going to get your first month for only $15. And of course, you can cancel at any time under the My Account tab, so don't feel locked in. Once again, daytradingstrategies.net. There'll be a link in the description down below. Click it, go sign up, and become a better trader today. Hopefully you found value in this video today. Hopefully you can take this information and apply it to your own scripting. You now understand at least the basics of how to call price action values into your code and compare price action values to have your code simulate orders automatically for you to gather that data to better optimize trading strategies and ideas. Hit the like button if you did enjoy. As always, if you're new around here, make sure you're subscribed. Why not make sure that you have these free videos in your subscription box nearly daily? With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign out of this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Trading stocks. He talks about trading stocks. It's important for you Americans and other international individuals to learn about stocks.